Hi, Travis. How can we help you today?
Um, my wife initiated separation 2 months ago, and since that time, we've only been communicating mostly through text. I
Hmm.
was just wondering if you had any helpful tips or ideas of how to get her to open up a little bit more and maybe have conversation.
Okay, when you say you're communicating only by text, I'm assuming then you have no business that puts you together, such as children or business interests or anything like that. Is that correct?
Uh, we have two children.
And so do you see each other when you exchange the kids?
Yes,
Okay. Now, I'm assuming though those are pretty brief, that you don't really have a chance to talk very much. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Okay. And so let me make sure I understand what you're saying then. You're saying, okay, since most of our communication are by text, now are those texts brief and curt, or are you actually communicating with each other by text?
Um, her responses are short. I try to go a little deeper, and her response is always short.
Okay, now when you say a little bit deeper, can you give me an idea of what kind of things you're trying to communicate by text, my friend?
Um, Trying to tell her that I empathize with her feelings,
Hmm.
and that I care about our relationship.
Uh-huh.
Want to see it work out,
Okay.
and it gets shut down pretty quick.
Okay. And so when you say she has those very short responses, can you give me an example of what she might say in
Yeah,
that short response?
uh, she'll just say that if I tell her I empathize with her feelings, she'll just say okay, or
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay. All right. So, in other words, what you're telling me, if I'm hearing you right, my friend, is that what you're doing is not evoking the right kind of response in terms of what you want. Is that correct?
Can you repeat that again?
Okay. What you're doing is not getting the kind of response that you want to get. That's what I'm hearing you saying, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, there's kind of a general principle here, Travis. And first of all, my heart hurts for you. Obviously, you love this woman, and obviously, you'd love to have interaction with her. But if what you're doing is evoking responses that you don't want, then that generally means that you need to stop doing that. So if you're trying to explain yourself to her in text, if you're trying to communicate to her, I care about what you feel, etc., and her responses are back to you are such things as I don't care or okay, then my first advice would be if that's not working, then don't do that. Sometimes there's a patience matter that comes into here, and that can be awfully difficult when you love the other person. And the patience would be okay, wait for the opportunities you have where communication actually does take place in some fashion. Now, it could be a while, particularly if when you're exchanging the kids, you're very briefly interacting with each other and she has little to say. It would take a little while, but sooner or later you'll have some kind of business to talk about when it comes to the kids, for example, like um, something with your son or your daughter or whatever that you're going to talk. And so at this point, I suggest don't push. Be careful not to push. If you haven't yet seen the video that Kimberly has done about smart contact, I strongly suggest you go find that. And Kimberly, you can tell in just a minute where people can find that. But find Kimberly's video that she did about smart contact. And even though it's going to be tough for you right now, Travis, and I know it's going to be tough, my suggestion is back off. Don't be sending texts that are going to get short responses. Because even though it will hurt that you're not having any kind of communication with her, it's still better to go a while without communication than have communication that's evoking responses that you don't want to get. Because if you're getting those responses, it's probably meaning you're evoking emotions you don't want her to feel, like irritation or aggravation or whatever it might be. So if you can back off for a little while, my friend, just back off. Wait for the opportunities, and hopefully they'll come. I cannot guarantee you that they will, but hopefully those opportunities will come. And then you practice that smart contact where it's like if and when conversations ever come up, and hopefully they will at some point, come up where you can talk, that you do then. But but I suggest, of course, it's always your decision. You do what you think is right for you. But I suggest don't be sending texts to her that are evoking responses like this because it seems to be working against you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Kimberly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kimberly, can you tell them very quickly how to find the smart contact?
Yes, absolutely. So for the smart contact video and any other of our videos that Joe might mention throughout this, what are we calling it? Podcast show, whatever this is we're doing. You can find those on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/marriage helper, we have a ton of videos there, and you can search for smart contact and you'll be able to see those, but there's a ton others as well. So go through those videos, look for the topics. I think on our main marriage helper page on YouTube, you can see it broken down into topics and playlists. So that makes it really helpful for you as well.